Welcome to the Art of Everything. I'm Eric. I have a guest with me today, Hiram. He's
Hello.
my brother. He could beat me in practically anything, but not my art skills. I beat him in that.
Very true. He's the artist of the family.
Yes. I'll take that credit. Anyway.
So today, we're introducing a new series of video that we're calling Top 5, where we explore the top 5 pieces of art or art styles in different categories. And today we're going to be looking at the top 5 smallest art.
So let's go look at some awesome art and get our microscopes out.
Our first artist we're going to look at is Brie Marie. And she calls herself the painter of pennies. Now you might ask, pennies are small, but they're not that small. But the amount of detail that she gets onto these pennies is absolutely incredible. She paints landscapes. She paints all of these amazing things just on the tiny little face of a penny.
I know, but the detail are outstanding. The one that I like, here's her Instagram account. That's how I found her, and she's awesome. It shows a little process of how she does it and all the steps. She really dedicates herself to the details. And it's a forest. It's awesome, and the details are outstanding. They kind of look like windows, you know, like when you have a window and you look out into nature and the window frames that nature. And this is what these kind of look like. They're little tiny windows of nature that allows you in, and you feel like you're drawn in, and it's awesome. I just love it.
Yeah. My favorite is one from actually a movie scene. It's from Lord of the Rings. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. And it's the scene where they're floating down the river, and there's the 2 giant statues of the men, the Argonauts, and they've got their hands up. And she's painted this on a penny. This scene from a movie. It's absolutely incredible.
It's awesome. It's so cool. So good job. Keep painting those pennies because they are outstanding. They're worth more than a penny.
The second one we're going to look at
is from UK.
An artist named Slinchy. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that wrong. I apologize if I mispronounce that. It's a tough word. But he does these small people, these tiny little figurines in different locations on the street and all over the place. They're really cool.
Yeah, he's been doing it since 2006, and he has them all over, like Paris, Moscow, all over. So it's really fun. And the reason why he does it, and he's been doing this for years now, is to kind of emphasize that overwhelming, because these people are tiny and they're embracing their culture, the street atmosphere.
My favorite one is he took a chicken wing, right? And that's a small object, but then he turned it into like this little park bench, and this couple is like eating on this park bench. And you look at it and it's like, oh, it's a little park bench, but it's like, oh, it looks like a giant chicken wing because the people are so small, and it's just in the middle of the street. So he made this little art installation in the middle of the street on this chicken wing. It's awesome.
It's awesome. And there's another one that I really like is how he has these little people riding on flies. So awesome. So cool. Because like when you see a fly, they are small, but there's so much detail in a fly, and he has these little people riding them. And I think that kind of shows him as a person, as an artist, and what he's trying to do is like embracing the culture and the street atmosphere. Awesome stuff. So when he does this installation, he takes the pictures of them, taking pictures of these people. So that's the reason why he does it. He installs them, and then he also does his prints. And that's kind of how he does his art. And that's how he shows it all over.
Our third artist is Hasan Kale, and he is from Turkey.
Yes.
Now he paints on tiny, small objects. And some of my favorites ones that he paints on are pumpkin seeds. Tiny little pumpkin seeds. He does a full artwork on a pumpkin seed.
And he also does like matches, the top of a burn match and those kinds of things. So he kind of likes to use discard items and to make them into masterpieces. And he sells them for thousands of dollars. So that's awesome. Good for him, right?
Yeah, very cool. Very cool.
One of the things that he tells us that he says that he loves about his art, and it's to his advantage, is he can do his art anywhere. He just needs a bottle cap and a drop of water, and he can pull out his palette and paint anywhere. Sometimes he paints when he's flying around the world. Sometimes he paints on the side of the street when he's inspired. And so it's really good that he can be able to use it, and space doesn't become a problem for him. So
you gotta have very delicate hands or very good precision to paint.
I know, and he said that his art requires an enormous quote, enormous amount of patience. So, and he paints 16 to 18 hours a day and no sleep. So he paints straight on, constantly trying to paint. And some of his paintings have taken him 6 months. Wow. Crazy. 6 months. And in Turkey, they call him Micro Angelo. Isn't that an awesome name? I wish I had that name, but I'm not that name. But yeah, Micro Angelo. That's awesome. Wonderful. Beautiful name. Good job, Turkey, for coming up with that name.
Our fourth artist is Salavat Fidai, and he's a Russian sculptor who makes sculptures out of the tips of pencils.
Yeah, like the graphite part. So he shaves it off and he does the graphite. They're amazing. And he was a lawyer actually in Russia. And in 2013, the economy in Russia crashed. So he lost his job. And so he decided to become an artist. And so that's kind of how that all started. And he's picked up a big name. And it's awesome because he sells all over the world. These little pencil sculptures, they're awesome.
And some of my favorite ones are he does these famous landmarks. Like he'll do the Statue of Liberty on the tip of a pencil. But the detail is absolutely incredible. Or the Eiffel Tower. Or these big buildings. It's fantastic.
So he does a craft knife, and then he also does a microscope as well. And then he does the really sharp knife, really detailed, and he's awesome. My favorite is his astronaut one. He did it in 2015, which was awesome, but he just recently did it again in 2020, and it's so cool because he used a white pencil. And he puts it on the graphite. So he uses 2 different pencils and he glues them together. I think it's awesome. And the details is awesome on that. The level of it is outstanding. Yeah.
And it takes him about 12 to 16 hours to make each one. So it takes him a ton of time.
A lot of time, yeah.
He's got to be so patient. And there was a few times when we were watching some of the videos where it breaks. So he probably spent 8 hours working on it, and then he just makes one wrong move, and the whole thing breaks, and he has to start over.
That would be hard. That would be hard. I would definitely be mad if I broke it, because like you spend so much time into something and then it breaks. It's like, oh man. I would definitely be a very unhappy camper for sure.
Awesome art.
Yeah, he does great.
The last one we're going to talk about,
and the winner, he's basically the winner,
is Willard Wigans, and he's a sculptor out of the UK, and he holds the world record for the smallest sculpture ever created by human hands, not using any machines, just by human hands.
Just the hands, and it's awesome. Yeah.
So the one that he won the record with was he took a piece of his own beard, a piece of stubble, and he carved and made a sculpture of a human baby embryo inside of a piece of his hair.
Yes, and what's funny is he was saying there's the size of a human blood cell.
A human blood cell is the size of the sculpture.
I know. It's outstanding. So he has the world record for that. So good job for him.
So is how he had to make it. Do you want to tell him how much detail he had to go into to make it?
Yes. So he actually has to hold his breath while he's doing it. And he has to do it in between his heartbeat, because his heartbeat interferes with it, right? And so you can't... Because he has to do it so small, and he has to do it in between heartbeats, which is 1.5 minutes in between his heartbeats.
1.5 seconds.
Oh, sorry. 1.5 seconds. 1.5 minutes. Man, you'd be dead by then, right? You'd be dead.
Some of his more popular stuff is he'll make sculptures in the eye of a needle. And my favorite one is the Hulk that's busting out and breaking the needle head. It's really
funny
cool.
Because he was saying that he accidentally broke that needle hole, and so he decided that Hulk should be the one that broke it, right? So it's awesome. It's great. Yeah.
So he's the world record holder for the tiniest art. All right, those are the top 5 smallest artworks. A big thanks to all of the artists that allowed us to show their artwork here. We've put links in the description below to all of their Instagram pages and websites so that you can check them out. Please follow them. Give them some support. They're awesome artists.
They're awesome, and they practice so hard to perfect their craft. So make sure you support them. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. And make sure you hit that like button. And also make sure you comment what you think should be the next top 5 subject that we should talk about. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next on the top 5s. And keep up with the awesomeness. And we'll see you guys later.